Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So I know you all have been thinking, where have I disappeared? Where has Leo disappeared? We were not active on any of the social medias and we were missing for literally 3 months. So I'm here to answer all your questions. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to all those people who have messaged us and were constantly checking on us. Very sorry that I couldn't reply at that point of time. I will reply eventually, but right now I can't reply to each and every one. So I thought I will just do this video and let you all know what exactly happened. So Leo is here. He is doing absolutely fine right now. You can see him. He's okay. So I'll tell you the exact thing what had happened. It all started around 19th of November. He just randomly around 11 a.m. puked, and I was like, okay, might be indigestion or something. I ignored it, and he again puked the same day in the evening, immediately after having his dinner, which again I got worried, and I was like, okay, I'll wait tomorrow morning. If he does that again, then I'll take him to the vet. Then at night around 1:30 or 2 a.m. he puked again, and it was something he might have ate on the road somewhere, because that was stomach was completely empty because he had puked in the after dinner. So it was, his stomach was empty, so I was wondering what is this, and I figured out he must have ate something on his walk. So I got really worried, and then I first thing in the morning I called the doctor, and he said, why don't you come, bring him and I'll see. I took him there. He did his blood test and his platelets were low. Rest all things were fine. He didn't had fever, so he said that he's having some infection, so we'll start with antibiotics. So we started with that, and he did give him first dose of antibiotic through IV, so I had to wait with him until the IV was done. And then I came home, he rested, he ate, he took his medicines, and he was okay for another 1 week. Then after a week I had to go for a follow-up checkup, and another, his 1 week medication was done, so we thought of doing another test to see how things are, and his platelets were same, didn't shoot up but didn't go down also, and that's what made him thought that something is wrong. So the vet said, let's do uh, his x-ray, and he did his x-ray and sonography, and we got to know that his spleen was enlarged, and that could be because of his infection in the body. So we continued with the medicines, saw that his liver was shrinking a little, so we started with liver supplements. Also that day itself after dinner he puked, so I thought it is maybe because I had to give him so many medicines, like liver medicine, platelet medicine, antibiotics. So I think everything, I assume that something, everything was caught up, so maybe because of that he puked. The next day in the morning he was fine, evening he was fine, around 10:30 at night he puked. So, and the puke literally smelled of liver medicine, so I thought it's not suiting him. So I called the doctor, and he said, okay, fine, stop for a day or stop for some time until we are on antibiotics. So I didn't give him that the next day. The next day also, immediately after dinner he puked. So I got really worried. I again immediately took him to the vet, and he said that now we should get bottom of this. So he again did his blood test, and we saw his platelets were down that day. WBC was also down, hemoglobin was also down, even though he was eating and taking meds, and still something was wrong. So he said that I want to do a PCR test, and I want to rule out babesia. So I got really worried, and that dose of antibiotic again he gave on drip. Then he said the result would come next day by afternoon or something. So I was okay. And so basically he didn't had any tick fever since we have got him, but he got this infection, I don't know how, and it was chronic one. And so we did PCR. The next day I again had gone for a morning dose of IV, since he was puking, so we didn't wanted to risk that he pukes out the medicine. So doctor said, you come, we'll give him his antibiotics by IV. I went, IV was on. When the IV was just about to finish, we got the PCR result, and it was nightmare. It was positive. It was babesia gibsonia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct or not, but yeah, it was this. And I was really worried. He said now the only treatment is like instead of one antibiotic, we have to give him 3 antibiotics. So I, as it is, was struggling to give him medicine because he was puking. So I told him that how am I supposed to give him 3 antibiotics twice a day, along with his platelet medicine, along with his liver supplements. And when all this is going on, my husband was not in town, he was traveling, and everything I was managing, it was really tough, and I was going crazy. And so the vet was really nice. He said first 3 days of the antibiotic, as everybody knows, 72 hours is very important. The dose should not break and the dose should go. So he suggested that we give him the morning dose by IV, evening dose I should try giving him at home. Hopefully he doesn't puke. So the morning for 3 days, every morning around 10 I used to take him to the vet for IV. 3 antibiotics were given through IV drip, and then he was eating all this while. He is active, he's going on walks, he is playful, he is fine, he is eating, he's doing everything. So I now was struggling how to give him the second dose of medicine. I somehow figured out that he loves fruits. So I just asked him that, is it okay if I give him fruits? He said he is free to eat anything he likes. So but the amount, I used to give him 2 big meals. Instead of that, I was supposed to give him 4 meals at the intervals, but this much. So break the medicine because it was this big, and I used to put it in a papaya or banana or strawberry, whatever fruit he likes. I used to hide the medicine in it, and I used to give him a bite of papaya, a bite of banana, and he used to take the medicine. So the second dose I gave him for 3 days like that. So I decided this is how I will give him medicine in the morning and in the evening for 21 days. So before giving heavy dose of antibiotics, I was supposed to give him antacid in the morning, antacid in the evening, along with that platelet medicine that was just a syrup, and then liver supplement that was again a syrup. So I was completely, going crazy. After 21 days, we stopped the medicine, and we were supposed to do the test after waiting for another 15 days after the medication. He was doing fine after the medication also, and he was doing absolutely okay. He was just on liver supplement and platelet supplement after the antibiotic course. Then on 4th of Jan we did his PCR test, and we went in the morning for the blood test, and by night, by early evening, by around 7ish, we got the result that it's negative, and we were so happy, we were relieved. So basically then the next step was to get him neutered. We did his blood work again, everything was fine, WBC, RBC, hemoglobin, it was fine, just fine. But Only the problem was platelet. Platelets have always been 1 lakh, max 1 lakh 10. And when he's sick, it drops down till 90k, 90,000. That's it. It never shoots up more than 1 lakh 10. There's a sonography one more time to check his heart and other organs before going ahead with the surgery. So we took him there on the 6th evening, and he did the sonography. All the organs were doing absolutely okay. Only problem we found out again was the spleen. So the spleen had not even shrinked a bit. मतलब 19-20 का सिर्फ फर्क था since the medication started. Vet was hoping that after the medication it will come back to its original size, but सिर्फ 19-20 का फर्क था. Nothing had improved as such, so it got him worried. And he said that now you take opinion of another vet, and then if he agrees we will have to remove the spleen. And I was like, what, removing the spleen? I had never heard that before, ever, not even in humans or even in dogs. kabhi nahi suna tha maine. So I got very worried, and after coming back from the vet, just did what we all do, like googled and chat gpt, and he said dog can live a normal life after removing it, but you need to be careful in certain things. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then we took an appointment for another vet for the second opinion. The first thing, when he did his sonography, he said that his spleen is abnormally large, and I was like, what the hell? And he said, yes, you need to remove it. I asked him so many questions, that will he be okay, can he live normal life, blah 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 blah, whatever I googled, I asked him, and he said yes. And he said best option is to get it removed. And he said that since his platelets are down, it might be risky, so we need to have a blood blood bag ready in case of blood loss. So that again worried me, that the doctor said that if it gets any more enlarged, it can rupture inside and it can be fatal. It can be very bad scenario where we will all be helpless to help him. So we just got very scared. We came home, we did our research, we spoke to our vet, and then we decided to get it removed the very next day. Since we took him at the hospital by 3, the doctor said that if there is no blood loss and if he's doing fine after the splenectomy, which is the removal of spleen, they will also neuter him under one anesthesia. 2 things are done, so which is like less worrying, so that he doesn't have to go through that surgery again, anesthesia again, which is again a risk. So when we took him there, they were prepping him and everything. They sedated him, and he asked us to wait until he is unconscious, because of course he also gets worried. So just for him we were there. And he when they sedated him, I was very worried because I didn't know what would happen. And I just literally opened his ear, and I told him that mama is waiting right outside and come out soon. That's it. It took him inside, and we were all waiting right outside the OT. But since I have a kid, 5-year-old, and he was getting bored, so I took him in my car. My husband was outside the OT, and I was just non-stop praying for 1.5 hours. I rushed to the OT, and doctor was there waiting for us, and he told us that he did really well, and his spleen was removed first, and then they saw that he's doing fine and there was no blood loss, luckily, so they did the neutering as well. Then he showed me the spleen. Oh my god, I cannot attach the photo here. People who have weak heart cannot see it. It is gross. Usually the spleen size is the size of a sock, that he said that it should be this much max. You will not believe it was this much, and it weighed 2.5 kgs. So it occupied a lot of things, or they found a lot of fluid around spleen. So they also found some cells, some nodules also. So he said that now this nodules and this liquid, they are sending for biopsy to rule out the big C, cancer. Gained consciousness around 7ish. And the first thing, this fellow was wagging his tail was after seeing my husband. And when my husband was just doing this and just pampering him that you did a great job, you're such a brave boy, and he was exactly doing this in, like, in that condition. He wanted belly rubs, and that made us smile and laugh and had happy tears at the same time, that this fellow is so strong. And he was there till 9:30. They were going to keep him overnight, because just to see, since the two surgeries were done, so parents were not allowed to stay there. So we had no option but to come back. And then early morning, my husband just went back, and he was doing absolutely okay. He had his breakfast, then my husband took him for a small walk, then he was resting, he had his meds and everything, and by around 10:11 he was at home. 13th or 14th of Jan, doctor called us, did the blood work, and surprising, his platelet had shoot up to 3 lakhs from 90,000. 95,000 was the last, I think, and it was directly 3 lakhs. So the doctor was very happy. RBC, WBC, and hemoglobin, everything was perfect. The platelet was an issue before, but from 95 to 3 lakhs just after the surgery was very surprising. And that's what the doctor said, that all the platelets were trapped near that fluid and near that enlarged spleen. That is why it had always been low, and it was a very good result. So fluid which they had taken for biopsy, that result we got after 5 days. It was negative. It was no cancerous or anything. The nodules which they had sent, the part of the nodules for biopsy, that we got on the 19th of Jan, and that was also negative. It was not cancerous, and that was a relief. Then he has lost around 2 to 3 kg. But overall, he is doing fine. He's eating, he's playing, he is going on walks, he's just himself. Now task for us is that we have to be very very careful for any sort of infection. And yeah, so we are taking all the precautions we can. So I just wanted to share everything until he's just fine, until everything is done, so that I can share the entire story. And I don't know how much it can help you, because most of the dogs, show some symptoms of pain or lethargy, or fever in anything in these cases. But Leo didn't show any such thing, so that is why it all took a lot of time for his treatment. But anyways, we are done with it. Right now he's just on liver supplements, that's it. And we will get back to sharing reels and all once we feel is the right time. So yeah, thank you guys, thank you for everything.